and outreach campaign coming up here a lot more quickly than one might think. We are in what, late August, early September, just a few more months. So, but on tap this week, of course, Van Morrison at 80. Just one final quick reminder that liking, commenting, sharing, remembering to hit subscription notification buttons, very helpful, along with passing word along to friends, family, and coworkers. Speaking of friends, we've got Roger Hansen connecting with us here for the time being. We might have a few others drop by as the show unfolds. It's a little tricky the way that Teams is set up currently. You've got to actually reach out directly and request them to join rather than it just being done default when you ring up a room that already has 20 people in it. I think it used to be a lot more that you could potentially have on board when it was Skype, but they're putting the squeeze on. What else is new, huh? So, all right. And before we get to Roger and all the amazing, wonderful things he himself knows about Van Morrison, let's give you a bit of a rundown overview of what we're looking at here this week, taking time to reflect upon the life and career of Irish music legend Sir Ivan Van Morrison, soon celebrating his milestone 80th birthday on August 31st. Our special feature production will include memories of his epic discography, performances, and philosophy. We'll also offer general commentary and live unplugged acoustic renditions of any number of his songs. Let's see YouTube's copyright strikes now. Don't think they can nail us for those live off the floor cover song efforts, but we'll see. Stranger things have been known to happen. Feel free to reach out with all your favorite Van Morrison music requests, memories, and trivia. So let's try one more time here to see if Sonia Galactic is available. We had thought she might be able to make it. She had seemed as if she was interested, although I'll tell you, there was a huge dust storm that swept through Phoenix just a couple of days ago, and I'm not sure exactly how that's impacted her. Don't know how many of you out there actually saw that talked about in the news, but it was a, I did myself see a few pictures. I don't know about you, Roger. Did that come across your radar via West Frankfort, Illinois? You're, really? Oh, how about that? So, yeah, South Korea. We're slowly moving into autumn, I guess, but summer definitely with the humidity here, Southeast Asian humidity, never all that much fun for someone with mostly, European, Scandinavian ancestry. I think there's just something in our, there's a reason that we ended up in the north, northern regions of the world as compared to you know, the deserts and jungles, as it were. So, but anyways, that being said, uh, yeah, rumor has it that you're one of the world's biggest Van Morrison fans, aside from myself, of course. So, how did that all come about? Right? Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of off the beaten path for a lot of people, actually. Although I was just checking things out here in the lead up to the show, as you can imagine, a lot of fact checking, various fronts, and as it turns out, he's had 40, I guess, official releases. These are just singles that have reached the top 40 uh, in the UK, I guess. So who's that? Is that Alan? Hello, Alan? Who the heck is that? Is that on your end, Roger? Sounded like Alan. Alan 777 Mosdale. Is that your bro? He wasn't yelling. It didn't. He was just. Was that your brother? Yeah. Uh-huh. Just go over and give him a headshot for us. Cat of nine tails. Cat of nine tails. S- Yeah, it can lead to some pretty uncomfortable situations. In fact, reminds me of a joke. I'm not sure if this is the best time, but I mean, since you mentioned it, the uh, the most sensitive part, of a person, someone who's, I'll put it politely, self-pleasuring themselves. If you can, the most sensitive part of their body. No, it's their ears. It's Roger. It's their ears, and I think Van Morrison has got pretty sensitive ears too. It's not that he's necessarily all that much into self-pleasuring. Hopefully, not at his age. Um, he's been married how many times now? Just I think just twice actually. Numerous girlfriends, and I mean some real tragedy with one relationship that fell apart just a number of years ago. It was with someone who, her name doesn't come to me at the moment. She was a striking blonde, though, as memory serves, and she was helping to manage his career to a large extent and uh, keep his website up to date and things such as that, to the point where she even had the gall while he was still married, I think. Now, I'm not sure where this fit into the timeline of the Belfast Cowboy, as he is so affectionately known by his fans, uh, going through some pretty, uh, uh, what is the word, contentious divorce proceedings that dragged on for a number of years, and it was really a burden on the guy, something that would, taxing on anyone, of course, emotionally. spiritually, and great, I guess, provided a lot of great songwriting fodder, of course, as you can imagine. That's where a lot of the best music comes from. The deep recesses of our spirits and our souls, where we suffer, really. It's the pain and anguish. Even though I know you just mentioned a few minutes ago you weren't really all that much into the whole spiritual thing per se, and that'd
But
be something that'd be interesting to get into and talk about. Is his,
it's
his
not that
mother was a
it's not
Jehovah.
that I'm not
Hmm.
into it. It's just like with the music,
Right.
when everybody does the music in a spiritual kind of way, they always kind of make it all like churchy. You know what I mean?
Well, have I told you lately
Well, that's a good one. Yeah,
that have that song? Have I told you lately
yeah,
that
that's
I
a good
love
one.
you?
Yeah.
Right. And it was covered by Rod Stewart and
Mm-hmm.
a number of others. We were just kind of doing a little fact checking once again just the other day. So it's a classic. It's a great song that there's a good chance I could find myself practicing after we wrap the show up. Actually, um, there's a whole number of his songs that I've got in my repertoire, my busking repertoire. Gloria, Brown Eyed Girl, Enlightenment. There's one you might have an issue with, but if you listen, it's kind of up tempo. It's not too churchy. It, and it has a lot to offer as well, I would argue, as far as music goes. I mean, why shouldn't music lift you up? Isn't that one of the points? Is it that's when people are down and in the dumps and depressed, do you just want to get even more blue and feeling broken, or do you want something that's going to raise you up?
I kind of like both. I like,
Oh, you
well,
want
like, I mean, he's playing R&B, rhythm and blues, the
a
original
lot of that?
R&B. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
jazz.
So,
That's right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, it's like freaking, you got to have a little bit of that going on.
Well,
That's
it's soul.
that's what blues is all about.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I I
Yeah,
was
and
I was amazed by the amount of awards this guy has gotten too, though. Like,
uh,
he was actually crowned or knighted.
yeah,
And,
yeah, that's right.
he was knighted for his music and stuff by the royal
I wonder.
family.
Yeah, I wonder if they live to regret that, given his anti-scamdemic stance. He was one of the few celebrities, as it were, entertainers, and I've talked about this in the show in the past, who they have it within their power to speak out. That's their whole gift,
Hmm.
is to speak out. And you think these people are a little smarter than what they seem to be, but maybe not. You know, Van is one of the few, not only that's intelligent enough, but also has the integrity, the moral fiber and backbone to rebel. And that's one of the projects that he embarked on with Eric Clapton after Eric got really sick after two experimental kill shots that were rushed, as we all know now. They're heavily pushed to just everyone was driven by fear and panic.
Hmm.
Hashtag trust the science, trust the fake science, trust the half baked pseudoscience, and he took a lot of heat for that. But you check out the songs that he put together. Rebels is a great one, and money from America. He calls out Klaus Schwab. Calls out, he was Prince Charles at the time. Bill Gates, Boris Johnson. He calls them all out. If you listen to that song, it doesn't take much to. There's no having to read between any lines. It's pretty much there, right there in your face. But and a lot of what he does when it comes to that whole approach and style of what he writes, he has talked about, in his mind at least, falling into the category of satire. it's satire. I love the way when if you listen to his interviews, how he you know uh, responds and to the questions that reporters or people that interview him what they have to ask. I can't do that heavy Belfast accent, but it's just satire. Heavy. It's what I'm doing. I'm a white guy living in the black. I'm a black man living in a white man's body. He's time and again. And speaking of the whole spiritual thing, agape.
Oh
Now his
yeah.
mother was Jehovah's Witness. His father was atheist, I guess.
Hmm.
And Van just went his own way. His dad had this huge. I think he owned a record shop, actually, a music like place where they had all the latest imports from the West. So he was able to stay abreast and big early day influences, including Leadbelly
Hmm.
and Leadbelly credited with songs like Midnight Special and Irene Goodnight or Goodnight Irene.
Good night,
Uh,
Irene. That was a good one.
yeah, yeah, it sure is. It's classic. I love Irene. Lord knows I do. Love her to the seas run dry. She ever turns her back on me, I'll jump in the river and no, I'll take morphine and die. So yeah, Irene, good night. And I was wondering if that's where that when like in hockey fights sometimes or boxing things like that where someone gets punched out and it's like good night Irene. You ever hear sports announcers? I haven't, not lately. I haven't heard too many, maybe because I just
Yeah,
don't listen that much.
yeah, it makes sense because they still do that now too with Burns, George Burns and his wife. What's her name?
Gracie,
Gracie. Yeah, they, good night, Gracie. That term right there is from him, George Burns. Every time you hear people say that, it's turned into a real popular. Uh, I hear it every once in a while with that too.
really.
So yeah, I'd almost bet "Good Night, Irene" is definitely the same thing. They've done it.
Yeah, burn. Well, we're talking old time radio now.
Mm-hmm.
Although they had their own TV series too, the George and Gracie Burns. I'm pretty sure like Lead Belly came first with Goodnight Irene, and then maybe George kind of just poetic license. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
You just play with the language. That's what we do here so often,
Yeah.
right? Steady as she goes. So
Let me see.
anything that just kind of go ahead.
I'll pull up the dates and everything on when Lead Belly came out with it. He came out with it in 1933. And
What do you what?
yeah,
1933.
1933, which is
What are you
recorded.
talking?
Lead Belly's "Goodnight Irene" uh, can
Really?
refer to Lead Belly's popular folk song, which was recorded in 1933 and is a lament about a woman named Irene by or Louis Alberto Arias historical. Yeah, whatever. We're talking about Lead Belly. I hate this new AI crap they put on Google search engine. But yeah, it's 1933. So it probably is exactly where they got that from. I'd almost bet.
I've heard the 1944 rendition of Lead Belly's Irene Goodnight. Um, and Brian Wilson did a great version of it on the Folkways tribute to Lead Belly and Woody Guthrie, um, you know, f- recently deceased Brian Wilson, a former like head chief songwriter, uh, of the Beach Boys, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, really great version. If for people that are keen on this sort of music, it really it really it did it for me for sure. That was a great that was just a great release, a product, project essentially, that where they had all these collaborators. Like Taj Mahal was on there, Springsteen, Dylan singing. I think Dylan did Pretty Boy Floyd. And what did Bruce do? He did like Vigilante Man, and John Cougar was on there with Do Re Mi. Although the way I do Do Re Mi, I actually uh, heard the Annie DeFranco version years ago, and but just played in the minor key basically. So I don't know. You're Do you know about the minor sound versus the major chords?
Yeah.
So just it's kind
G
of, go
minor,
ahead.
G major.
Right.
I think the last time I played around with all that was whenever a guy I was working with wanted to try to teach me how to do G major 7. And I was like,
Right.
on a guitar, and I was like, nah, dude, that stuff's too fast for me because it started hurting my fingers and stuff.
Right. But anyway, the point is, it's a spooky, a more spooky, like you've heard of cowboy chords?
Uh, 3 chords, right?
Yeah, well, three
3 or
chords and the
2.
truth. Three chords and the truth.
Yeah,
The kind of That's one of the releases that Van actually had recently. So like, yeah, G C D E A D. That's what's known as 1 4 5. That's sort of
yeah,
C F G. That sort of deal. But the minors lend a more spooky kind of uh maybe sentimental feel and tone to what it is that you're trying to trying to convey. A lot of times, if you listen and and know what's going on, basically. So that's really all I was kind of trying to say. And that Annie DeFranco, with that version she did with the minor approach, I just works so much better within a meta modern context. I would argue. I know I like doing that Do Re Mi, the old Woody Guthrie song. Much more. That I don't think I'd ever play it with just simple straight up cowboy chords ever. So, but yeah, 3 chords and the truth. And I'm not sure who. There was somebody
Old
who's
Woody Guthrie
famously
song.
attributed to having said
Much.
that. Not sure. Bear with us here while we get our bearings straight as well. That two people get things worked out. Having to trying to bring uh, basically Telegram on board here. So big shout out to Sonia Galactic, long-haired stoner dude, my kind of guy. So yeah, that's not Van Morrison either. That was a meme we just kind of ripped off the interwebs here with one of his quotes, a quote from Van Morrison. Before going live here today, Van Morrison, kind of final touches on what it was that we thought we could work on bringing to you. So, and we could do some music live off the floor as promised, but it just depends on how the flow of things goes here, and if it seems to
just to let
really
you know,
fit.
I kept it off of YouTube, so it's all good on my end. I got everything going on the simulcast for Rumble,
Great.
Kick, Twitch, and like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
left it off of YouTube, so because I figured there'd be music involved, so of course.
Good call.
You know.
Of course. What exactly?
Oh, of course, it's about Van Morrison. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. There's gonna be some music, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got it all set up. It's good to go. A little bit of the beginning is missing, but other than that, we're all set up on my